Hi, my name is Sean. It's been about a week since I've seen Skyfall, the new James Bond movie, and I thought I'd review it. The reason why I've held off is because I don't think I'm going to say anything more than anyone else has said. I mean, it's people are saying it's the best James Bond ever. I don't know if it's the best James Bond ever, but I think it's one of the best. Where do I begin? Well, first of all, Skyfall is about basically this dude played by Javier Bardem. He is seeking revenge on M. You probably know all this from reading reviews, and he's trying to destroy MI6, and he does it by stealing this little box that has or this little chip or whatever that has the identities of all the agents on field. All the NATO agents on field, and he reveals it, 5 at a time every week on YouTube, and jeopardizes those people, and they all get executed when they get revealed. And I thought one of the great things about this movie was that the threat was clear. I didn't get that from Quantum of Solace. I mean, I understood why James Bond had to stop this guy. So, I mean, not only is he after M, but he's going about it in a way that, jeopardizes national security all over the place, so Bond has to do something. Bond in this movie is kind of a broken man. What book is this taking from? Because I know there's a book, I haven't read it, in the Ian Fleming series where Bond is presumed dead, and then he sort of, goofs off for a bit and then comes back sort of like a lesser man than he was, and then M needles him for that, and then he has to train up, and he realizes he's not as good a marksman and all that as he used to be. I don't know if it's You Only Live Twice or whatever, but that's where this is kind of taking inspiration from. I know there have been other Bond movies that have done the same thing. I think Die Another Day and all that, and You Only Live Twice, yeah, so Daniel Craig is sort of like a broken kind of Bond. I mean, he's shot by another field agent. He then just has sex with whoever he sees, and does I don't know if he does drugs, but he also partakes in a lot of alcohol. And then he comes back when he sees on the news that MI6 is in trouble. And he fails all his tests, but M tells him that he didn't fail, and he goes back on the field to find Javier Bardem's character. Another great thing I liked about this movie was the locales. The cinematography is excellent. You're going to hear a lot of people say, "This is the best looking Bond." It really is the best looking Bond. I mean, there's a sequence in a glass, in a glassy building. Which is spectacular with all these huge LED displays shining through, and then there's this amazing scene where he goes to this casino, which is in the middle of a lake filled with Chinese lanterns and neon dragons, and he goes inside and it's all misty and kind of old world looking with red lamps lighting this sort of smoky atmosphere, and this bridge that over this Komodo dragon pit, and Bond fights a guy in that pit, and that's awesome too. There's another sequence where he finally meets up with Javier Bardem, and he lives on this abandoned island that looks like some sort of post-apocalyptic nightmare. And at the end, I'm not going to reveal some of the surprises in this because they were surprising to me, and they really added to my enjoyment of this film, but something goes on fire. I'm not going to say what. And there's this vast field of swampland that's lit up by this fire, and it looks like hell. It's different hues of red and orange, and different layers of shrubbery as people run through them. It's amazing looking. And another thing too, I really like Javier Bardem's character. Can't remember his name right off the bat, but his villain character was very, very charismatic and a really good villain. I know a lot of people saying he's the best Bond villain. I don't know about that, but he's one of the best Bond villains. I mean, this movie boasts one of the best Bond villains, the best looking scenery, a very interesting James Bond. I'm back to actually caring about this character now. lots of surprises, a clear threat. It really is, to me, one of the best Bonds. I know people are saying, oh, it's boring. I actually wasn't bored at all. I guess it depends on what you're looking for in a movie, or even in a James Bond movie, because I was really bored by the last two movies, Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace. Quantum of Solace is so aimless and directionless. And honestly, this movie makes Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace look pointless. Like, what were they doing? Because when you watch this movie looks like a true introduction of the Daniel Craig James Bond character. Like, they introduce him, they show a bit about his past, they show what he's capable of, what his limitations are, what his strengths are. They introduce elements of the classic Bond series, and it's done at the end. And that really should have been the first Daniel Craig James Bond movie. It makes the other two movies look like they're spinning their wheels and holding back unnecessarily. It's strange. So they need to introduce the guy for 3 movies? Like, that seems like bad writing and storytelling to me, rather than skill. Anyways, this is really good. And the other thing, too, that I find ironic is that even though this film is introducing elements that would set up the typical James Bond formula later on, this movie isn't actually the typical James Bond formula of, like, like global world hopping, chasing after some MacGuffin that the bad guy wants, and nuclear codes or something, and then you fight a bad guy that has some sort of world domination plan. It's not like that at all, but it's really interesting and cool all the same. And that's another thing too. I think people some people that don't like this movie is probably because it's not their view of what James Bond should be. James Bond, to a lot of people, should be, he fights a mad villain that has some world domination plan or scheme or something like that. And I'm sure they'll get into that later on, but he's not all about just that. The stuff he's doing in here, like his mission here, is what I would think like a spy's mission would be. Like, track down a guy who has codes that reveal or like a disc that reveals the identities of field agents. Well, that's a breach of national security or international security, and Bond has to stop it. So, to me, the mission was a typical Bond mission, and it was a good one. So, I really like Skyfall. I really think it's good. I think over time, more and more people, like even the haters, I think a lot of people hate on the movie because it made so much money. I think there's just a backlash, but over time, I think people will understand this is one of the best Bond films of the series, which is remarkable because I think it's like the 23rd Bond film or something. So go check it out.